So today I'm going to take you on a tour of our newly remodeled master bath and bedroom. In a previous video I showed you how to do the raised plaster stenciling on the walls. Now we're going to see the finished product. We have granite countertops on the vanities and this little workspace over here. The walls are all done in Italian marble, a little bit of trim on it. The cabinets I did. The fronts of these, just like the floor in the other room, are all red oak and sapelli. There's a little, you can see the trim, the dark trim, that's the sapelli in there. And the floor is done with tiles. I learned how to make tiles a couple of years ago, so I've made all these out in my kiln and put the floor together. Here was kind of a neat thing that we did. This is the laundry hamper. So I made 3 different sections to go in here, and they pull right out like so. So obviously you have the darks, the lights, and the colors, and when you get ready to do laundry, everything is separated for you. And here's the toilet area. Again, marble walls like the rest of the bath area. Also, for the toilet paper, I get tired of running out of toilet paper, so I made an opening there that we can store a spare roll in, and it's about time for another one I can see. But anyway, that way you never run out. And then we'll go next over to the shower and tub area. Originally there was not a corner cabinet in there. I built that to put it in. It's not real big, although the wall behind it is a 2x6 wall, so I popped it about 5 inches into the wall, so it's deeper than it looks. There you can see some of the plaster, the raised plaster stencil work that I did in there. So here's the tub. It has shower heads on each end. You can't see it from here, and I put an arch in the ceiling. So again, the outside of that is surrounded by the Italian marble. The inside, however, is another project of mine. I made all these little tiles. And one of the neat things about making your own tiles, besides the fact that you can do any shape, size, and color that you want, is all these little detail pieces around here, which normally when you buy tiles cost you a fortune. It's basically just the cost of the clay and the glaze. It's pretty easy to make molds for them. So these things are practically free. They're 10-15 cents a piece depending on which one it is, but it just, you can do all kinds of detail because there's no real cost to it, not like when you go down to the tile store. Here's a little more close-up view of some of this. All LED lighting in here. Over to the shower and tub area. Here's the entrance. Oh, and there's also some more plaster casting up in the ceiling. And again, I made a masterpiece of this out in my shop. Made a urethane rubber mold from it and poured a lot of plaster into it. Made a lot of little pieces and put them together. It's really not that hard to do, and it's pretty inexpensive. Then the ceiling is faux marble. Here's a shot of the entry. And here's the master bedroom. This project took about 2.5 years to complete. You can see it's got the kind of like upside down wainscoting. It trims up on the ceiling instead of down on the floor. Lots of oak in here. Did a lot of work on the ceiling. I'll show you some details of that in a minute. And then I did a nice wooden entrance over here. Let's get a shot of that. So here's the entrance. It's all done in red oak with raised paneling. Here you can see a little more detail on the paneling. So here's the ceiling. I added some cast plaster detail on this. To do that, I made a mold, or actually a original of both the rounded piece and the straight piece. You can kind of see some of the detail here. Made the originals, and then I made a mold out of some polyurethane rubber compound, and then I cast a whole bunch of plaster pieces. So the inside of this is raised about 2.5 inches from the rest of the ceiling, or lowered, I guess you could say. You can also see the two big vents on here. The fan to begin with wasn't quite in the middle of the room, and I had to move it a little, but there were 2 air conditioning vents, and to make them look symmetrical I had to put really big vents in to cover them, because otherwise they would have looked really odd the way they were. And unfortunately you really can't move an air conditioning vent. That's a huge amount of work. Also, you can see the trim up here. I did all this. It's wallpaper in between the sections, and all these little carving things. I had a friend with a 3D router, and we tried it on that, but it just wasn't feasible. I needed 44 of these, and it took him about 2.5 hours to do one, so we decided that wasn't really going to work. So he stuck them in about 2 minutes. He can do the first pass, which etched the shape of it for me. And then I brought them home and drilled holes and took my jigsaw and cut all the little holes out of these, and then carved them down with chisel and stuff. Made all these pieces that go around the outside of the room. Close up of the car. There's some detail of the plaster moldings. The floor in here is made out of red oak and sapelli. That's the dark red trim. I made a whole lot of squares, tongue and grooved them, just like normal hardwood flooring, and put this all together. And there's some little details down here on the edges you can kind of see. So I hope you've enjoyed your tour, and thanks for watching.